Okay, first of all, today we're going to start with the bell work. What is a function? So what I want you to do right now is in your learning log, I want you to take out your learning log. Take out your learning log, and I want you to answer the above question. I want you to answer the above question on what you think is a function. I want you to give a real-life example of a function, and then I want you to share your prediction with your partner. Okay? So take out your learning log, do your bell work, while I go ahead and take roll. So you might stop it now. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to talk to your partner and tell them what do you think is a function and give an example. So right now, talk with your partner. What is a function? Okay, who wants to share their prediction with us? Who wants to share their prediction with us at what you think is a function?
I mean, it's like the way something works with the numbers, like how it's gonna, their job.
Okay, so how something works. What is an example? What would be an example of a function?
I don't know.
Okay, so think about that thought.
I was thinking of like a function table whenever you put the number in and you do the table. You know what I'm talking about?
Right,
Yeah.
okay, a function table that you put numbers in, you're telling me?
Yeah,
Okay,
and it says like it says like this number it comes out to, you have to figure out the rest of them.
okay, keep that thought. Anybody else has an idea of what could be a function? What's an example in real life of a function? What would be an example of real life of a function? Think.
Like all the gears in the machine.
Okay, all the years in a machine. Okay, it can be a function. Okay, so let's think about what is a function, and we're going to come back and revisit this after we go over the activity. Okay, now let's look at the next one. Relations and functions. Okay? Today we're going to understand that a function is a rule that assigns to each input exactly one output. The graph of a function is a set of ordered pairs consisting of an input and the corresponding output. That's our standard that we're going to learn today. Our objective is I can explain that a function represents a relationship between an input and an output where the output depends on the input. Therefore, there can be only one input for each output. I can show the relationship between the inputs and the outputs of a function by graphing them as ordered pairs on the coordinate grid. So this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to start exploring what is a function. And then we're going to look at putting it on a coordinate grid and using a table also. Okay, task focus. Is this a function? Think about it. How can I determine if a relation is a function? Mr. Morgan asked his students. In fact, let somebody read it for me. Emily, read it.
Mr. Morgan asked his students how many pets they have. Some of the students' responses are shown in the table.
Okay, so student 1 said I have 2 pets. Student 3 said I have 5 pets. Student 6 said I have 7 pets. Is this a function? Do you think this is a function? Just by thinking about the objective and the standard. Do you think this is a function? If you think yes, raise your hand. If you think it's not a function, raise your hand. Okay. Keep that in mind, because after we do the activity, you're going to come back to this, and you're going to decide, was I right or was I wrong? Okay, so in your learning log right now, I want you to write yes or no for this question. Is it a function? So put task focus, yes or no.
You want to put it under that word?
Put it underneath the bell word. So put task focus, yes or no. Do you think this is a function? I want you to answer yes or no to each of these questions. And then we're going to come back and revisit it after we do the activity so that you can come back and think about it and change your answer if you want to. Okay, we're gonna look at the input, so you don't write nothing yet. We're gonna come back. Input, a person's social security number. The output is that person's birth date. So earlier, Samantha was talking about a table, input and output. So here we go. Do you think this one is a function? This one right here. A person's social security number and that person's birth date. Is that a function? So put social security, put birth date, and I want you to put yes or no. Is it a function? Because you are going to come back to it. And then the second one is a person, any person, and the output is going to be the name of that person's grandparent. Do you think this is a function? So do you think input, I'm going to put the input's going to be my name. The output's going to be the name of my grandparents. Do you think this is a function? Think about what a function is, how something works. So all I'm doing is having you think right now. Then you're going to come back after and explore. You're going to explore, you're going to come back and change your answer if you want to. The first one is a function. Social security number and birth date. Okay? How many think the second one's a function? Okay? Okay, good, good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, today, the first thing I want you to do is a vocabulary self-awareness chart. I'm going to give you this chart, and I want you to examine the list of words in the first column. You're going to put a plus next to each word you know well, and for which you can write an accurate example and definition. Your definition and example must relate to the unit of study. So it must relate to functions. Think about the objective. I want you to place a check next to any word for which you can write either a definition or an example, but not both. So the first one, you really know the word. You can give me everything. The second one, you've heard it, but you can't tell me what's an example or a definition. And then I want you to put a minus sign next to words that are new to you. You never heard it. You never saw the word, you never heard it. Throughout the lesson, you will adjust or change your markings to reflect your change of understanding. So after we do the activity, the guided practice and all, you're going to go back, and throughout the lesson, you can go back and change your answer if you want to change it. Okay? Good. Right now, I want you to fill in the self-awareness vocabulary checklist. Fill it in. Tell me what you know about these words before we get started with the lesson. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. Of y'all put a plus. Okay, Samantha?
Plus for function.
Okay, function. So what you think function is? Tell me what you wrote for the definition.
The definition, I put how the numbers relate or function, but for an example, I put it into an input-output table.
Okay, very good, very good. Anybody else has a plus? What you have, Jocelyn?
I put one for y-intercept.
Okay, y-intercept. What you put for that?
It is where x and y intercept on a graph.
Okay, so it's what? It's where x and y intercept on the graph. Okay, keep that in your mind. Okay, anybody else put anything for a plus? Anybody put a check? How many checks did I have? Okay, Destiny. Okay, Destiny.
I put a check for function, linear equation, slope, and y-intercept.
Okay, so you put a check, so you've heard the word. Can you give me a definition?
I can give you one for slope.
Okay, so what's slope?
The slope is like the downhill of
Okay, so it's like a downhill of a line. Okay, can it be an uphill of a line?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, anything else you can tell me about a slope?
No.
Okay, so you're on the right track, Christopher.
Slope, y-intercept, independent variable, and dependent variable.
Okay, so you've heard those words. Can you tell me and give me an example of an independent variable?
I think it's like it variable doesn't change if something else changes.
Okay, so it's the independent variable. It doesn't change if something else changes. Keep that in mind, we're gonna come back to all that. Anybody else?
I put a check for y-intercept, geometric sequence, and arithmetic sequence. For y-intercept, I put part of a grid, because I remember that from whenever we were doing the grids. I
Okay,
figured the arithmetic sequence and geometric sequence was pretty much what it says. It is like a sequence of geometric shapes and a sequence of arithmetic, the number system.
okay, on the right track. On the right track, we're gonna get to all that. Any other questions? Any other questions on what you think these are, or wanna share your findings? What about if anybody put a minus? How many put a minus in some of those words that you've never heard those words in your life? Okay, Alexa?
I put a minus for geometric sequence and arithmetic sequence.
Okay, so you never heard that. Okay, anybody else has a minus? Okay, drink.
Linear equation and nonlinear equation.
Okay, linear and nonlinear equation. Okay, you can see how all of this is gonna relate. Anybody else has a minus? Okay,
I have independent variable and dependent variable.
independent variable and dependent. So you never heard that before? Okay,
I put for linear equation, non-linear equation, dependent variable, and independent.
okay, so you have never heard those words. Okay, good. You're gonna hear it all this year, okay? Now we're gonna start exploring a function. What you're gonna do today is you're gonna do the wave. So we're gonna collect data while you're doing the wave. And then we're gonna start plotting it on a scatter plot, on the coordinate grid. We're gonna look at it and see if we think it's a function, and then we're gonna graph it. So what we're gonna need is stopwatch. Now I'm gonna let you use a pencil for the spaghetti, colored pencils, and do the wave handout. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and explore what's a function. For your independent practice, we're gonna do the wave, okay? You need to construct a scatter plot. We're gonna look at what is a function, and then we're gonna graph these functions. What you need is a stopwatch, which we have on the computer, on the Promethean board, popsicle sticks, colored pencils, and do the wave handout. This is your procedures. You're gonna work with the group to perform the wave. You're gonna record the data in the table I provided, okay? So here's your table. Okay. You're gonna follow step-by-step instructions on the handout working with your group. So what we're gonna do first is choose our groups. I'm gonna start calling a number out. You're gonna write that number at the top of your paper. And then you're gonna get into the group that you have on that number, okay? And then okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you're number 3. Write it down. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Write it down. Write the number down. 3, 4, 5, 6. Write the number down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to get with your group and you're going to perform the wave. Okay, so right now, all those who are number 1, I want you to come in this area, these tables. Number 2 on this side, number 3 in the middle, right here in the front, and number 4 in the back. So give it your group. Okay, we got about 1 minute. Oh, and number 5, I wanted to have 6 to a group. So I should have only had, oh yeah, I should have counted 6 people. Stop. Okay, all the ones who's taking the time to stand behind your group, you're going to watch the time. We're going to start the wave. 1 person at a time. The first person's going to start and you're going to do. Now start the time and you're going to do the wave. Okay? When that person puts their hand down, you mark the time. Okay? Okay, then we're going to restart the clock. Then we're going to have 2 people do the wave. You're going to see at what time they started and what time they ended. Okay? Then you're going to have 3 people do the wave. So you're going to do it until everybody gets to do the wave. So when you start plotting your data, you're going to have your time, compared to how long it took each one to do the wave, okay? So, now you watch the clock because what's gonna happen is they may be quicker than you. So you may have to watch the clock and go a little bit further. Everybody might not be at the same pace, okay? So y'all ready? Okay, so one person at a time. Okay, so here we go. When I start the clock, the first person does the wave. So what's the wave? You put your hand up and then you go down. When you go down, we stop the clock. You look at it, you watch her. When her hand goes down, you mark what's on here, okay? Now, I can't stop it because they might not be finished. Everybody's going to be at different times. Okay, you ready? Y'all ready? Okay, and then everybody has to document the time on your chart. Okay, here we go. First person, do the wave. Everybody was supposed to do it in each group. Person does it, you mark the time. Second person, now y'all both do it. Then you, all three does it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Start.
Keep going. Okay,
this group, when you finish one time, then both of y'all do it. You have to do it again. Okay? Okay, wait. Again. So you're going to just be stopping the time after every person. Okay, you ready? When we did it in class, it was 3 people. It's so much harder than a class. Okay, here we go. Okay, do the wave. You got to do it again when he does it.
Oh my god.
This is not the wave. This is not the wave.
Okay, guys, look up. The first person does the wave. Here we go. So once you do it, your hand goes down, you put it up and do it again with him. When he starts again, you start after him. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're going to start and he's going to go right after you. Okay, here we go.
You did.
Come on, y'all got to put your hands high.
Oh,
we doing it?
we died.
Okay. Stop. Time. Here we go. Okay, we started. So you do it, then he does it. Here we go.
You're supposed to start at consecutive times. Justin, stop being your hip.
So we're going to do it all together. So you're going to do the wave, he goes down, check it. When he starts, check the time, okay? Be sure it's right. Okay? So after each hand goes down, you ready? Here we go. Okay, did we get the data?
First, I did it the first and second time they did it right. So it's very long.
So you got the data. Okay. So the first person, you have how many seconds? The second person, you have how many seconds, right?
Yes.
Okay, what you're going to do now, okay, you're going to get back with your group. So I want you to go with your group right now. Get back with your group. Okay, come on, let's go back. Fill in your chart. So whoever took the times, give them the chart. Go get your answers. Fill in your chart. Now look at your instructions. You're going to graph it. Okay, look at your instructions. Number 1, they want you to graph it. And then they want you to read your instructions. Each piece, what they want you to do. And then you're going to use your stick. So follow your instructions to make a line. You're going to use the popsicle stick to make your line a best fit, to see if it is a function. And then we're going to come back and decide, is it a function or is it not? Now you got to answer all the questions. Fill in your chart. Graph your points. Cool. See what happens with that data. Something's going to happen. Uh-huh. I would change it. Now I want you to answer the questions relating to the data. What happened? I wish I would have did the whole class in those. That would have been quicker and proper. Okay. What I want you to do right now, okay, everybody look at me. You almost done? Look at me. Okay, it's almost time for class to end. So what I want you to do right now is the closure, which is 3 stars and a cloud. I gave you a handout. I want you to tell me 3 things you learned from the lesson activity today. Name 1 thing you're still cloudy about and need more help with, and add any additional comments. And I need you to turn this in, and this is your ticket out the door. If you finished with the worksheet, I need you to hand that in to me. If you're not done answering the questions, finish it, and then I'll pick it up tomorrow. Do you think the wave was a function?
Yes.
You think it was a function? Yeah. Okay, let's look at the vocabulary and the objective. Okay, a function is a rule that assigns to each input exactly 1 output. What was my input?
The number of students.
The number, good. What was my output? The time it took, very good. Okay, so now think about that. Do you think this could have been a function?
Yes.
Okay, so it was a function. What I want you to do is I want you to finish the green sheet, answering the questions, and then your ticket out the door is to give you 3 stars and a cloud. Now we're going to go, our next lesson is, we're going to look at exactly what is a function. And we're going to start looking at it by working on another activity to determine, is it really functions? When does it become a function? When does it not become a function? So we're going to go to, that's going to be our next lesson. Okay? Okay, any questions? No. How many of y'all enjoyed the activity? You were able to move. Okay? Okay, have a great day.